they started making noise. So everybody, let's join Jesse Arnold and his buddy Curtis Ackerman. Because when indulging in fine geekery, it's always best to bring a friend or two. Shooting the shell. Everybody loves shooting the shell. Shooting the shell. Let's start shooting the shell. You're gonna love it now. Let's start shooting the shell. Just might make you say wow. Let's enjoy some fun conversation. We'll be shooting the shell around the nation. Let's start shooting the shell.
Good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Hi there. I'm Jesse. This is Curtis. This is episode 204 of Shooting the Shelf. Spelled correctly this week. I had to double check just now. We just got home from CarverCon, but we're not going to be talking a whole lot about that tonight. But Curtis, just real quick, what do you think of CarverCon?
I think Brian did a fantastic job. I know that he, kind of had this idea, been kind of stewing and working on it and building up a vendor list and all this kind of stuff over the last several years. The venue was amazing. The show itself was, I feel like it was wildly successful. It was awesome. It was fun to hang out with everybody. It really did feel like a mini Legions Con. So,
Yeah, it was giving me vibes of the 2021 Legions Con. I mean, different people, but like, it was a little more laid back. And it was really cool. I also had a great time hanging out with everybody, honking and laughing and snorting. My laugh snorting, not substances. Yes. Although I do have like an inhaler for allergies, but I did that.
There's a chance we might get to some of that tonight. I do know that tomorrow on the lounge, they are going to be talking to the Lens and have a nice discussion wrap up of CarverCon. So definitely check that out. And then next week, I think we're going to probably have a couple vendors on and talk to them. So not trying to ignore that, but we do have a very important topic to talk about tonight. Yes. I am super excited. And if I'm being honest, Jesse, a little nervous about tonight. A little nervous. This is probably the most nervous I've been on one of our shows. Yeah. I want it to go well. So,
okay. Well, get over it. It's going to be fine.
Thanks. I appreciate that pep talk.
You got this. Look, just rip the Band-Aid off, man.
There you go. But we do have
you off screen, but on camera, it's just get right to it.
We do have a bunch of folks in the chat, so let's go ahead and get to that. First off, we got Freaks Figures. Saw him this weekend. Had an excellent table. Got one of his little figures. It was fantastic. We got Blake, aka Recon Rage. Got to see him this weekend as well. Mm-hmm. We got Cromthick 316 here. We have V Dog, Jesse. There you go. MJ Staten in the house. Missed to see 50-50. This guy was the man at the con this weekend. He killed it. His stuff was amazing. Definitely the talk of the show. And just a great guy. Like, we've talked to him before. Love him. And so glad that he sold every single Dio this weekend.
That's amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah. I don't know royalty structure when it comes to Dio work, but I would say put this man on a throne. So we've got the Toy Forge here, Anthony House Seal. Maybe seeing him in just a few minutes. We've got I Am here. I'm sorry, I Am TJ Williams, because I'm no longer making everything silent because he had some choice words for some of the off-worlders on Friday. So no more silence. You're not keeping me quiet anymore, TJ. So Dave Horgan is here. Yeah. Ty is here. We've got Jeremy Govier, Brian Carr in the house. We got Kyle Robinson. Saw him at the con this weekend, and apparently he's like 8'7". Like this dude is huge. Like we do the customizing studio. He just sometimes joins us on Mod Squad and stuff, and all you see is the dude's hands, and he's painting, and then like he shows up at the con, and he's like, yeah. He's like gargantuan, like Jolly Green Giant.
Oh, cool.
We got Chef Brendan Higgins here. Mark Houseel is here at Little Funhouse Customs. We got Jordan in the chat. We got Tanya McCoy. Got to see her and hang out. She was our table mates for the con. Paul Morales is here. Jesse Marshall. Omar is here as well. Got William Husted. Got to see him this weekend. Darla Ackerman, I know her. She's not over there. She's over here. Apparently she's working on laundry from the con. So we've got Kirby in the house. Mike V, that's him. Got to see him as well this weekend. Ryan Colwell. You got G. G had a lot of fun this weekend. G had some laughs. Got Jen Lucky Sprinkles, got to see her as well. Hazy HL is here. Got to see his cosplay. He didn't actually bring it to the con, but he showed us some pictures and interesting stuff. We'll talk more about that on Off-World this next week. James Studio Susamudio. Stacy Lin, the number one reason to go to CarverCon. Josh Brown Toys, got some awesome stuff from him this weekend, dude. I got so much good stuff from Josh. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to be doing a haul video or something at some point this week, but yeah, he got some awesome prints from him. Dangerous Dusty Lee is here. Got one of the coolest things this weekend, which is a Trapper Keeper from Dusty. Like, dude, I haven't had a Trapper Keeper since the 8th grade, but I'm excited. And it's the one that Pete McCarthy won. So that was like a double win that I got to steal it from Pete. So Action Figure Dude is here. He was at the con as well. We have Michael Morales. Tanya says she's already having CarverCon withdrawals. Yeah, I can see that. Plastic Playatorium. We got Collectible Fun, Matt. All of the Latin Legions were there. Their whole crew all made it. That was pretty awesome. We got Jay Low Fidelity. He had an awesome table as well with some great lighting and got some pieces from him. Who else? Scrolling. A lot of the same folks. Dub 3 tried to kill G a couple times this weekend. Do better. Not do better at trying to kill him. I mean, just do better in general. Be a better person. Don't try to kill your little buddy. You're like Skipper and he's like Gilligan, yeah, you could strangle him, but don't. So, we've got Trevor 1-6 shooter in the house. Got to see him all weekend. Kevin McCoy, Maverick Architect is here. To Plastic Playatorium, Future Past Customs, another awesome vendor there this weekend. Alberta Magana. And very tall and skinny, very, very tall. J-Mac, got to see J-Mac, got a picture of J-Mac as well this weekend. Cincy John, we got Doke here, was hanging out and having fun. And man, just a lot of people. Pete Mitchell, Will Maverick, saw him. Kem Pop, the Eric Miller. We found out this weekend you're supposed to put a "the" in front of his name. Also, Eric Two Waters is his new nickname. So,
sorry, Eric.
Yeah,
stop him.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, Eric Two Waters. So, and I think that's everybody. I think we got them all. So, you ready for shelf selections?
Wait, what? Yes.
All right, here we go. We're going to get into shelf selection. We're going to roll through those, and then we got a bunch of awesome guests on, and we're going to talk about an important topic. Go ahead.
And just so we don't have to say it on every one, look at the names on the pictures. Go follow those accounts on Instagram if you want to make your Instagram that much cooler with creative art and other things.
Beautiful. Here we go. First one is one of mine. This is, I'm probably going to butcher this. Dobrolian. This guy with the name that you can see there, paint on Instagram, and did this miniature here with this like lava dude, and just really great. The gradient on here, the transition of colors from the reds to yellows with the blacks in there, and the little ashen parts. I just thought he did an amazing job on this. So yeah, good job, Jesse.
Yeah, the colors on this are great. At first I thought it was something that was lit up when I looked at the picture you sent me. Just the vibrancy of it is very good.
Next one is one of Jesse's.
Off the shelf pictures with little Donnie and Casey Jones. I do believe that this picture has been enhanced to Curtis's pleasure. But yeah, just them working on an AC unit, and just a fun, cool slice of life picture.
It does look like there's some sweatpants enhancement there. I also believe that off the shelf pictures, I believe they had a photo that ended up in the most recent Legions magazine. This one has the Trevor Williams back cover on it, as well as an article in there with Trevor. So check out legionsmagazine.com, or you can pick it up on Big Bad Toy Store. But yeah, they had an awesome shot in there of this different photo, but kind of the same setup. This looks cool. I love this kind of, fire escape hanging out. You got Donnie working on the AC there. Like, listen, folks, it's hot out there. And if your AC is not working, find the smartest turtle that you know and get them cracking on it, because you don't want to be without AC. So,
yes.
Next is one of mine. Now, this is, some droplets. And normally I wouldn't say like, hey, look at these cool droplets, right? But all of this was done with color pencil, which I think is amazing. And this is from a reel from this Zartart 02. And if you go and take a look at the reels and see them actually do this and make this look like actual droplets with color pencil, is pretty freaking intense. It's amazing to see how it comes to life. So I wanted to show this on here. Like I said, it's probably not the most like cool thing to look at right like this, but when you see it actually happen in like real time, it's pretty amazing. So I encourage everybody to go check out this Instagram and take a look at the reels, because you will be blown away. Jesse?
Yeah, you sent me the reel earlier in the week, and at first I thought that was just this again. I was like, oh no, he's using this as his shelf selection. And yeah, I just thought it was really cool, because even just looking at this, to get it look like there's actually light reflecting through the droplets of this completely two-dimensional image is impressive. So yeah, definitely go check this out. It's really cool.
Yep. Jay says, bet those reels are really slow for Curtis to take a picture without complaining. So what I did was I actually screen recorded while the video was playing, and I waited till this was at the very end of it, and then I just took a picture, a screenshot of that on my phone. So
spoiler alert.
Yeah. All right. Next one is one of Jesse's.
This is from our friend Cosplay Uncanny Annie, doing a cool cosplay out in the woods. We always like seeing toy photos out in the woods, so why not cosplays out in the woods, doing some sort of like druid or some sort of character here. I just thought this was really cool and really good cosplay.
Yeah, this is awesome looking. They do a fantastic job. There's a little bit of cosplay at CarverCon this weekend. But we definitely see some good stuff at Legions Con, and this looks fantastic. Maybe next time, if it's even better, Jesse may start following you. So
it's not I'm following her. It's whoever else is tagged in the post.
I love when that happens. All right, next one is one of mine. This is our good buddy Tony's Figs on Instagram. And I just thought this was super cool. This is a baseball card like rack, that a thing that you put on your wall, right? That has like a glass case that kind of closes on it, but it ends up being the perfect size for superpowers. And so he is using this to kind of put his superpowers collection in there. He's got some vintage stuff on the first 2 rows, and then some of the newer McFarlane stuff on the next 3. I thought this was a cool idea and a cool way to display these. It just looks really awesome. So I wanted to highlight that. Jesse?
Yeah, this is a really cool way to show these off. I really like that he's got the vintage stuff in there as well, and like the different lineups of characters going across. It is a really fun way to show these off.
Yeah, and I think they're on Amazon for like $45 for this thing. It's like it's got 5 shelves and then a glass case that kind of goes over and closes it. So if you're interested, check out Tony's Figs. He kind of talks about it, and then you can go to Amazon and purchase one yourself if you'd like. So next is one of Jesse's.
Coming all the way from our buddy Gui over in Wales, we've got honed_axe with a shot of Vernalis with his spectral familiar there. And again, out in nature, you got the water and the grass or the moss on the rocks and everything. Just looks very in-world and really, really nicely done.
Get back to that picture in a second. What is OSM? I'm lost.
Outer Spaceman.
Outer Spaceman. Okay, gotcha. So Eric Two Waters says he's got his Outer Spaceman and Power Lords in something similar. So very cool. Yeah, this is an awesome shot. Love the outdoors. You get a little creek, a river, whatever behind it. Looking good. I like it. So
I don't think they call them cricks in Wales.
Yeah, is that like a Missouri thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, gotcha. Next, so this is McCracken. And this was the vendor that was next to us at CarverCon. And actually, can you grab either yours or mine from there that we got? I'll show you the one that we actually picked up from the con. Darla picked up one and I did. But these are handmade like little dragons that wrap around these vials that have dice in them. So you got all your different whatever 6 through or 4 through 20 or whatever in there, and then these little dragons that wrap around them that are just super cool. And they were vending next to us at the convention. Hopefully they will be back at CarverCon next year. They've got other stuff on their Instagram as well. So definitely check them out. And then I will show you, this is the one that Darla picked up. So look at that cute little guy. Right.
That's adorable. I'm kicking myself for not getting back over there to pick one up before we left.
She didn't bring mine over, but that one's hers. Mine looks similar, but it's like a neon yellow and black. But here's one that has like a bone armor thing on it. But anyway, Jesse.
I was saying I'm kicking myself for not getting over there to pick one up before we closed up. So I'll have to see if I can get one through their store or their site or whatever. These were I really liked these bone armored ones. I thought those were really fun. Added a cool bit of character to the dragons, but yeah, they were really cool and they seemed like really nice people.
And then Darla just brought mine over, so let me big of myself. Look at that. Look at that guy. I just this yellow cat. It doesn't really show as well on camera, but that yellow like pops. It's like a neon yellow. So, but they also they do ship things. I asked them do you have it? Because it's made out of clay. The dragon part is, and then obviously you got the glass in the tube. And I asked them about any breakage and stuff. They said they package them real well. So if you're interested in one of these, hit them up on Instagram, and they do ship. And they said they package it well, and they don't really have any breakage. So. There you go. Nice. Next is one of Jesse's.
This is the Fox Marvelous Shots. I just absolutely loved the kinetic energy of the motion in this shot of Sir Ukjak rearing up with that hammer, getting ready to drop it down on the undead builder there. I'm just waiting for the next frame, where you see the hammer, if it was a comic panel, you see the stutter effect of it swinging down and then splat. Yeah, this is a fun shot.
I mean, that's a great story, but we all know that the next frame is actually him falling down and completely missing with the hammer. So, but this shot is great. Like catching it.
I'm sorry, were you kicking one of Dusty's dead horses?
No, I'm just saying like the fact that they caught this photo before he fell is pretty amazing. That's a good bit of impressive photography. So, nice work. Next, this is D. Daryl. And I actually found this. I think it was Hayes was talking about this at the convention, was showing this off and said, man, I got to go home and do like a smoky eye on my my Nieve now, and showed me this picture. And so I was not following this account, but I am now because that's what we do to make our feed that much cooler. And they did a repainted eye there with the pupil and stuff, and then did the smoky makeup on there. I just thought this looked really, really neat. So wanted to show this off. Jesse?
Yeah, the next shot is from this same artist, a different piece. I also discovered this artist this weekend as well, but I don't know if it was because you liked something and it was like suggested for me. But yeah, this is really cool. That face repaint, like this almost looks like a person. I know we've had was it Tiny Customs or whatever that you've used before?
Like Tiny Temper or something. Yeah,
that does like a lot of the Marvel and comic heads. Like this to me, these are like very similar level of detail. Like it looks like actual skin tone, and those eyes look absolutely alive. So like amazing repaint on this head.
Great work. And the last one from Jesse from apparently the same account.
Same person. You can see it says following because I saw this and I hit follow immediately.
Good job.
Before I took the screenshot. This is a custom. I don't know what all the parts are from. I do know the head itself was some sort of anime head, but they totally resculpted all the hair, and the headdress is all like handmade on that. I mean the soft goods, I didn't see where those came from, but this is, I guess, like a grown-up version of Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And having just watched season 2 and seeing her in that, I really like that character. And I thought this was a really cool custom and a really great account to go follow, since both Curtis and I picked them this week as shelf selection. So go over there and check them out.
Yeah, I don't know this character or that property, but great posing, great shot. Yeah, this looks really cool. So good job. And yes, go follow them. And that is it for shelf selections. So we do have some more pictures to show you, but it's going to be as we get into our next segment. But before we do, we got to bring on some awesome guests that are going to help us talk about our main subject of tonight. We do have a couple folks that are also involved that were not able to be here. Dirk's Designs of Wolf King Customs, now Chief in the Navy, Chief Dirk King, Raccoon, Wolf, Guy, lots of names and titles. I don't know, but he's not able to be here. But Dirk, thank you for participating, helping out. And then also the great and wonderfully talented Noah Pratt is not able to join us tonight, but he is also helping us out with this project. But we do have 4 individuals that are here to help us kind of talk about our subject tonight. So Jesse, have at it.
Oh, what am I doing? Are you?
You're bringing them on, or you can say their names and then I will click their things, or however you want to do it.
Joining us in no particular order, except I'm going to start from the last person on my screen. Brian Lynn, fresh off the presses of CarverCon.
Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Coming up next is the master of wood himself, Patrick Boyle.
Hi, guys.
Welcome.
I don't know why I did that flourish there. I'm sorry. I know where this topic. I mean, we're gonna have fun, but there's not a heaviness, but like this is a legitimate conversation tonight, and I'm being all goofy. Sorry about that. Next up, you know him, you know his love for all things small and bearded. Anthony Houseel of the Toy Forge.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have returned
to Shooting the Shelf.
Welcome back, sir.
Great to be back.
Did you notice, Jesse, that there was another person that was going to get introduced before Anthony, and then it was like they purposefully logged out and logged back in so that they could be the last one?
No, that's not why. Technical issues. This happens. The next guest was making sure that the audio was in and they could hear everybody.
He needs proper top billing.
Yeah, he wanted to be the last. He wanted to be the headliner.
Our last first guest for the night. Nope, not doing it again. Dusty of Dang Studios.
There it is. What's up, Dusty?
What?
Exactly.
I don't think I can hear you, Curtis.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
It's going. Recovering.
Yes.
The voice is recovering. Trying not to fall asleep.
Yep.
So, obviously a lot of us just got done traveling, getting back to wherever we're from and stuff. And so we'll see how this goes. I don't have like structure for this. I've got a general idea of what we're going to talk about, but we're going to see how this goes. So tonight we are talking about the Legionarium Hall of Heroes. And specifically, we're going to talk about an individual project that we're working on for one individual that we have lost recently. But before we do that, before we talk about the project that we're working on and kind of what that is about, I want to talk a little bit about the group first. So, Jesse, you came up with the name for the group. Can you tell us kind of inspiration behind that, or what your thought was as you came up with the name?
Well, Curtis brought me into the group and was at the chat and was asking me, I was like, what do you want me to do to contribute? Because I don't sculpt, I don't do the printing, this sort of thing. And he's like, well, how about some name ideas? And I was like, Hall of Heroes. Because, you think of like the Hall of Justice or, something like that, where it's a place to, and for us, this is going to be a place to, remember those we've lost in the community, whether it's someone we know very well or just other people who are other fans of Legions. And the Legionarium part, I thought it needed like a more formal, like, when people talk about the United States and they refer to, and I'm not getting political, but just to make a point, they refer to the government, it's like, oh, that's a DC thing, or DC will handle that. But it's Washington, DC. So Hall of Heroes is like the common name, and Legionarium is the place itself, was my thought behind it. So
Gotcha.
That answered your question, but that's where it came from.
So this is a Facebook group. So you may have already gotten an invite. You may have heard something about it. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, you can definitely search for Legionarium Hall of Heroes on Facebook and join. And in that group, like Jesse said, we're going to be remembering folks that we've lost in the toy community. They may be folks that were in the cabal, that went to a bunch of conventions, that had, a bunch of friends throughout the community. It may be somebody that really didn't do the whole social media thing. Maybe they didn't go to conventions, but they still, really loved, a toy line or a bunch of toy lines, and they're missed by somebody. As far as like, deserving to go in the hall or anything like that, we've had that question come up. Anybody that we've lost that's missed by even one person is deserving of being in the hall. And so what that means is within that Facebook group, we have albums set up for these people that we've lost, where you can share photos, conversations, stories, so that people can go in there and see that and see what that person was about and who they touched, within the community and what that was. And just kind of remember these folks. So before I go any further, I want to go to Brian next, because I know, Brian, while we were working on this, we did not know that you were also working on kind of a display for CarverCon to also remember some folks that we've lost in the community. So you want to talk a little bit about kind of where that idea came from and how that kind of synergized with what we're doing here?
Basically, it all stemmed from last year. Last year kind of sucked. Watching Scott Ball go through what he did was gut wrenching. It just sucked. We all had hope that he'd pull through and everything, and to see him, to lose him like that really sucked. And then there was Dennis. I mean, it just sucked. Like last year, it hit our community pretty good. Like, but from those two people, I mean, we've lost some others too, but like we had two of them go at the same time, and it was just really hard to watch, especially Scott go through everything. So, and one of his goals was he wanted to go to Legion's Con and things like that, and he's not able to do that now. So I wanted to do something, at least have him represented at CarverCon. I plan on bringing that board, maybe finding a new way, something different to go along with this group as well, to have them displayed at Legion's Con every year as well. So I just wanted to have the people that we can't have there. Like, I didn't really know all the people that I posted on that board. I only really had interactions with Aaron Detrick. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. Like, he was the first one that sold us a Mythic Legions figure, and he was known from a lot of people. So I mean, he was a great guy as well. So I just wanted to. That was one thing when I started CarverCon. I wanted to have someone representing him as well, because, like I said, without him, that I might not even be a guest right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just wanted to make
it's like the whole butterfly effect thing, right? Like CarverCon doesn't happen if it's not for him.
It's true.
Right? I want to go to Anthony, because I know one of the most notable kind of losses that we had that I think really affected the community, and Horseman got involved and stuff, was Justin Johnson. And I know it was a situation where a few years ago he was all set to go to Legion's Con, and then just wasn't feeling right, and things weren't going so hot, and so it was like, well, yeah, he's going to miss this one, but we'll see him next year. And then that just didn't happen. And I know obviously you were very involved with him, and he was very involved in the dwarf community, but maybe if you can kind of talk a little bit about that situation.
Yeah, no, first and foremost, thank you guys for having us all on here, and thanks for creating this group. It's I think this is going to be amazing, and a legacy that we'll be able to carry on for those along the way. Unfortunately, the list will continue to grow as time goes on, but we'll be able to honor everyone the proper way. Justin and I kind of helped start the Kings Under the Mountain group. It wasn't necessary. It was a dwarf group intended, but there were some other things for that to allow him to be able to kind of focus on some of the things that he was trying to focus on with his stories and things like that. And it just kind of evolved into where it did. And butterfly effect, Justin being a part of that, us creating that group, the Malignancy, the Brood, all the Horde, all the other subgroups that exist may not have existed to what their full potential is without us putting it together in the beginning. So for that, a lot of us are very grateful for him, and may not even realize that, he was the catalyst in that. I remember communicating with Justin right before Legion's Con. I remember him sending me a picture of his positive test result of getting COVID, and he goes, "I have to miss this one." And before going into it, he was leery about flying. He was thinking about driving from where he was, and he was going to fly, and then he got sick and then couldn't go. And then I remember sending him photos all through G-Con of everything, because he was hurt and hanging. I don't remember if he was in the hospital or not, but I remember communicating with him Sunday morning of the show. And then Eddie Salvatore and I were having a conversation earlier in the day, and then Eddie called me back later, told me Justin had passed, and it was just like gut wrenching. So we put together a lot of things. I actually have Justin's mass card as well from Kevin Dufresne, who was able to go to be a pallbearer in addition to William Neves. So like people that were a part of the community were there even at the end. So at that time, none of this really existed. So kind of spearheaded, project managed a bunch of things to help the family at the time, because, the family was young kids. Wife suddenly lost a husband, the breadwinner of the house, and all that. So between community projects, which ironically, Curtis, I owe this one to you, and this is a thank you, but to show everyone, this was one of the community projects that we had done and I don't know, I'm getting the glare, but it's terrible. But and it might even be in photos at some point later down the line. In Justin's profile in the group, it's there. Where, you know, this was a way for a lot of the community to grieve with his loss.
And it was several artists involved in that, right?
Sitting here looking at it, and there was a time, and Pat will back me up on it. There used to be a time where we used to be able to look at a piece and go, "Oh yeah, that's from so and so." It's impossible from today, but now when I look at this, I'm looking at a Sabadon from Planetary Dog Shield. I'm looking at a My Action Figure custom book, 2 books. I see the backpack, Toy Forge mug, Wolf King Customs head, Wolf King Customs axe, Strupp Family Crafts soft goods that were unique and specific for that, and it was all painted by Zombie 13, Eric. And we worked and put that all together. But while that was happening at the same time, there was another member of the community who was working on a project as well. And Curtis, you ended up getting both of these, didn't you?
I ended up getting both of them. Yep.
Yeah. The other one was, oh man, my name, his name escapes me. Matt O'Toole.
Oh, Matt O'Toole.
No, Matt O'Toole, who was a special effects designer on a lot of the Lord of the Rings movies and created a one-off custom that actually had fabrics from dwarven parts from the Hobbit movies. And we were able to generate a lot of money to help that family, to get them through Christmas, because it was right before the holiday season. In my mind, the whole time I'm thinking, we got to get socks and toys and whatever for these kids so they can, you know, enjoy their Christmas, because they've already got enough on their plate. And then the community, or the studio, stepped in and said, hey, we're going to create a one-off figure. We're going to do parts and pieces. I was able to help with writing have a little bit of participation in the bio and the backstory of that. So they created a Justin of House Valgard, because Valgard was his favorite character of all time. And in all his customs, you'll find plenty of gold and purple pieces. And ironically enough, this past Legions Con, he would have been incredibly happy to have known that he had another go around to be able to buy, 80, 90 Valgards along the way. Funny enough, while we have everyone in the group, Pat, what are your thoughts on Valgard?
He's my least favorite Mythic Legion figure. He's the golden turd of Mythos.
The golden turd of Mythos, yes. So the studio, was involved as well. We did a whole raffle, and the winner, thankfully enough, through his own generosity and kindness, donated it to the family. So the family has this one-off. Fast forward now today, the studio gave us that head finally. Yeah. And you're able to, if you have all the right parts and pieces from looking at the photo, you can recreate it, with the exception of the beard being a little bit darker in the original. But this is part for part what existed. And I only had to paint the gold on the wrist there a little bit. Other than that, it's all factory stuff. So for every part that you see that comes from the studio at some point or another, they've got future plans for it. And this was awesome. I was counting down the days when I could finally be able to do that. So now we have this, and now we're able to put all these photos and stories and all that together. We'll be able to do that for all the other members. Brian, I remember meeting Aaron one time at a show in Jersey. He had a ton of figures, and he had Legions there and everything too. It was cool to meet him. I knew he was big within the Joe community. So it's just one of those things where we're going to be able to put something together, a nice memoriam for everyone, for as long as we're able to keep this group going.
Yeah. So with that being said, let me go ahead and just pull up the Facebook group real quick. So this is, once again, Legionarium Hall of Heroes. You can see we already got 316 members, which is awesome. Because when we first started this, we threw it out there. We didn't even say what it was. We just put it out there, said Legionarium Hall of Heroes, and just kind of people started joining. And you saw a bunch of people like get in, and right as soon as they get in, they just kind of introduce themselves, which was really cool, because it's part of what this community is about, right? We're remembering these folks that we made connections with, and we started off without even saying anything to folks. We kind of started off with people making new connections, which was great. But once you're in this group, if you go now on like on your phone, there is a spot at the top that just says albums, and you can go straight to the albums. If you're on a computer like this, if you go to media up at the top here, and then scroll down, there's, it has photos, videos, and then there's albums here. So when you go to this album section, this is where you're going to find albums set up for these folks that we've lost in the community. And, I can set up an album. Anybody can set up an album. Anybody can add to these albums. So if you have a picture of yourself with somebody that, from a con, if you have a story that you want to share in the comments of one of the pictures, if you have a screenshot of a conversation you guys had that you want to share, you can definitely do all that here. We are trying to have kind of a picture of the person as the first picture in the album so that we can kind of see that. We did do something a little bit different with Justin and with Ray Wu because they have official tributes in the line. So we made that the first photo. But this is kind of where you will find that stuff. And so once again, if you want me to set up an album, I can set one up. If you want to do one yourself, you absolutely can. But this is where you will find that stuff. So if we go to like the Justin Johnson one, you can see, this is the figure that the studio made that Anthony was just talking about that you can recreate with, parts in the line today. And then, you got a few other pictures there. You got some of his customs. You had when they made it, the studio went and signed the base there. So you can kind of see that. A bunch of his customs. I know Anthony threw in here, threw in a picture of like a call. Didn't you guys have these regularly?
Yeah, these were regular that Justin used to have a lot with a bunch of people at the time before the Legions, the group chats would happen and all that stuff. So we would have these, and this is kind of the reason why we started the Facebook group originally, to kind of like maybe shift that focus over there with the topic of dwarves being the focus. Because when I look at everyone in this group, everyone they're all dwarf guys. I mean, except for Walter. Walter's Walter, but he just had to be in the photo, I guess. But yeah, we were, and most of the chats were about dwarves and things like that. But it was nice to have us get together, and email was in there, and there was a lot of people that they got to participate in these little group sessions.
Yeah, so very cool. And then I know you threw in a bunch of his customs here, as well as like some conversations, some of the last conversations that you had with him that you screenshotted. Yeah. So, this is, that's Justin's. Here's one that I know Carlos of Badass Reviews kind of started this one for Ray Wu and got a bunch of his artwork in here and stuff. So, once again, you guys can, feel free to go in and look at this stuff and kind of see, how people are remembering these folks, and any pictures in there you can add to it. But this is kind of what we're going to do with this. This is the haul, this group of albums. And tonight we're going to talk about a new album that we're going to create for another member that we lost in the community. But before we get into that, anything else on this stuff? I'll go to Patrick next. Any thoughts on the group as a whole, or kind of where you see this going?
My hope is that it's actually a group to help bring us closer together as a community, better understand each other, and to help in times when we lose a member, to help through the grieving process.
For sure. Absolutely. Dusty, any thoughts from you on this?
I just think it's a phenomenal idea. It's a shame that we're already at a point where we're having to do things like this. But, if it happens to me, this makes me feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, like we these people left a mark, or they wouldn't be here.
Absolutely. All right. So let me stop sharing that. So now kind of where this started. So there is a lady, Marilyn McElderry. She had reached out to Four Horsemen Studios, And actually, I'm just going to read you the email that she had sent them. So bear with me. You all know I'm not the best reader, so bear with me here. All right. She says, so she emails Eric and Four Horsemen, says, my name is Marilyn McElderry. I am writing you from Northfield, Minnesota, reaching out to you with a heavy heart, but also deep appreciation and joy for your art brought into my home. My son recently passed away very suddenly. In my apartment sit several hundred of action figures that he collected over his lifetime, a massive portion of which are your designs. He was deeply passionate fan of your work and your storytelling. In his memory, I'm working on a novel, wish to commission a custom figure design to honor him. The character name is Lornica, a spiritual warrior who is strong, fearless, and legally blind, reflecting the incredible strength my son carried throughout his life as a humble giant. Just as I was beginning the process to honor him, one of his figures fell off the shelf by itself, which gives me complete peace that he is watching over this project with joy. Because of how much your work meant to him, it would mean the world to me if you would consider a private commission to design this figure. I understand that you're incredibly busy with major toy lines, but I wanted to reach out to you personally to see if a custom tribute piece like this might be possible. If you are unable to take it on, I'd be deeply grateful if you could guide me to a trusted customizer in community that could help bring Lornica to life using your figure parts. Thank you so much for your time, your art, giving my son a universe of characters that he loved so dearly. I would love the chance to share a little bit more with you if you're open to it. So that was an email that she sent to the studio. I then get a call from Jeremy, and Jeremy says, hey, obviously, we're in a situation, you just saw the albums that we created. We're in a situation where unfortunately we are, we've already lost several folks. We're going to continue to, and it's not something that they can just take on for each person that we lose. But much like happened what Anthony was talking about around the Justin one, where the community kind of got together and you had all these parts and you had zombie painting and you did all this stuff to raise money for the family and stuff. Jeremy was wondering if this was something that for this particular project, if I could take on and kind of put a team together to, make this tribute figure for this lady, which I absolutely said yes right away. Like, absolutely, let's do this. And so as I thought about it, I'm like, okay, what does this look like? And so started talking to some friends on kind of what this tribute would be, and then also like how we could grow this and help remember all the other folks that are losing in the community. So I've got first off, I will pull this up. So this is a picture of Marilyn with her son, Eric, who she lost. Once again, he was legally blind since childbirth, and but still just enjoyed this toy line and loved it immensely. So she had sent some information about this character. So apparently he had written some short stories, which she is now kind of working to put into a novel, and sent a description of this character. So I'm just going to kind of go through this real quick. So Lornica has shoulder length, brown curly hair, soft sandy colored hooded cloak, brown matching tunic and trousers, soft leather boots, eyes. You've got the head has the eyes covered with a red sash with a comet or shooting star embroidered on it. The eyes also have jewels in the socket, which shine through the sash. Ring covered fingers. The right hand holds a willow staff with a metal ball at the bottom. The staff is engraved with the spirit of an ancient god, Trass. And then over here on the side, you got Lornica is an ornamencer, dreamer, which is a rare form of a mage who can see shadows of possible futures. Dreamers are blind when their power is manifest, seeing both mortal and physical realms at the same time. He is a prince, son of Prince Calazar. So this is the description that we got. So the first thing that I did was I talked to Dusty. I know Dusty's an amazing artist. He does some really great artwork. And I said, I need to see what this looks like. Like I need to see what this. So I gave Dusty an idea of kind of based on the description that she gave, like what figures parts I thought we could use and kind of what like an overall idea of what might work for this. And then he took that and put together a drawing, which I will show here. So this is the drawing that Dusty put together, which by the way is just spectacular.
Fantastic. Just so good.
You know, to me, like for the rest of us that are going to work on this actual custom project, like this gives us the blueprint, right? Like this is what we work off of. And you know, so I think this turned out fantastic. I then sent it to Marilyn. She saw it, she said it put her into tears. Like she was just so grateful and happy. And it was just like all of this is really coming together, and it just, you know, it makes it all worthwhile. So Dusty, I'll turn it over to you. Can you talk a little bit about how this came together and you know, what went into this?
Dude, when I got that phone call from you and found out not only what the situation was, but the fact that the Horsemen trusted you with it and you needed help, anytime you need help, the answer is going to be yes. So when you told me the backstory and everything, everything else got pushed aside, and I just worked on this until I got it right, until I felt like I got it right.
And I mean, really, the first drawing that you had was pretty close. Like the first drawing was almost there. I think we went back and kind of worked a little bit on the sash a little bit, kind of made it a little bit wider and adjusted the shooting star a little bit. But other than that, I mean, the rest of it pretty much stayed the same, right? We didn't make any other changes other than that.
I don't think so. I think basically we just kind of worked on how the sash and the eyes would look, and the little comet, you know, because a red sash with a red satin embroidered comet, you know, how can you get that to show up, you know, and then still have the effect of the eyes glowing. So we made some few minor adjustments that night. Basically, while we were chatting back and forth, I was just doing some minor changes until we both felt like we had it right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do quite a bit of project management work, like on my job. And I know, you know, the best project managers aren't the ones that are the experts at everything, right? But they know how to say this part would be great for this person and this part would be great for that person. And so giving this piece to Dusty and saying, hey, here's what we're thinking about using. Can you bring this thing to life and get us an image of this was the first step of that process. And then I immediately reached out to Patrick because I knew that this guy was going to have a wooden staff weapon. And there's nobody that does wood like Patrick. And so I reached out to Patrick and said, hey, don't know if you got time to work on part of this project. And that kind of the thing with this is really piecing this out, right? Like we got one person that works on this little piece of it, one person that works on this little piece of it. It's not a huge burden for any one person, but it can kind of come together. So Pat, I reached out to you. Immediately you said, yes, I'm in, whatever you need. So obviously we haven't finished putting this figure together yet, but I know you've been kicking around some ideas. So what were your thoughts, you know, as I talked to you about this project and then kind of working on this staff?
My thoughts were I want to try two different versions of the staff. I want to actually see if I can get one that actually can give a glow effect to the wood. But I know the standard wooden staff, like I was automatically in to help with this project and honored, hey, something I can do, I can take part. So, but I was thinking, okay, I can use, say, the staff that's commonly used for the trident, for example. You pair that with, say, the new topper, or even just the one that came with, like, brace. Flip it upside down, and you got your.
Oh, let me embiggen you here. Hold on. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the one from Dormo, but held upside down. The only difference is the length is maybe a bit long. So So by using a slightly shorter staff with a topper, putting them together might do the trick. But I want to try and do it one that actually has the green glow to it as well to mimic the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget that not only is Pat the master of painting wood, but scaphoid green
Yeah, there you go.
is
It's kind of combined
right
these
up
two
there
best
too.
things.
So if you
Yeah.
need him to make something glow in a nice green hue, there's not a better person in the community that could out there that could do it.
And I really want to highlight that part of it as far as like, you know, parsing out these parts of the project, because we're specifically talking about this one project that we're doing for Marilyn, for her son Eric, but we would like to see this kind of grow, and all those other folks that you saw that we have albums out there for, we would love to see the community kind of rally around and make tributes for those figures as well. And when you're doing that, we don't want it to be something where it's the same 6-7 people working on each of these projects, right? We want it to be different folks. There's a lot of you guys out there that are great at sculpting, or great at drawing, or great at painting, or great at photography, or whatever. And we would love for folks to say, hey, this individual touched my life, or I'm really excited about their story. I really want to help make this thing come to fruition. I would love to donate my time for X or Y or Z. So we would kind of, the same format that we're using for this, we would love for people to take and do that for some of these other folks as well. So the next piece that we had was we needed to work on this head, because, you know, you look at this and we were envisioning, based on her description of the character, Kai Pacha legs work great for this thing, from the top of the legs all the way down to the boots. You take the Furious Four cloth arms, they work really well for what we've got here. You've got the Exiles dwarf torso and waist piece is going to be perfect for this. I think we had planned for like the Valak bracers, or one of the, I'd have to look at the list, but I think that's what we had there. Obviously I've got Sweet Darla sitting over there, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna need you to make me a sandy brown cloak with some sort of medallion on it. So she's going to be working on that. And then we needed the head, because we didn't have, there's not a head in the line that we could specifically use to do what we wanted it to do. So that's where I made a call to my good friend Dirk, the chief wolf raccoon thing guy. And this is what he came up with. So this is digital renders of what he threw together in ZBrush, based on the description, based on Dusty's drawing. So he came up with actually two different heads. So he had, you know, one with the sash and then one without, because he didn't want to just do one. So he actually did two heads. And at CarverCon this weekend, he actually brought me the sculpts. Now, he does need to upsize them, because he did them initially for 2.0 scale, and it's going to be 1.0. But this is that sculpt that he did. So there's the first one.
Has that been primed, Curtis, or is that just straight resin? That's
just
clean.
Resin printed. Yep.
Very clean.
And then there's the second one. So two head sculpts. Once again, he does need to up the size. He's already talked to me about that. But you know, so you can see from, you know, the request from Marilyn, through Dusty's drawing, through Dirk's sculpting, through the work that Patrick's doing, like this is starting to really come together, right? We're starting to kind of build something here. The next thing was we needed somebody that can paint this, that can paint the head sculpt. And so I reached out to Noah. This is no offense to any other person in the community, but I think that Noah does the best human skin tones in the community. His human skin tones are fantastic. They look so lifelike and realistic. And I reached out to him. I said, because I know that this has been a busy year for him. He's got a lot of stuff going on. And I said, hey, we got this project. Would really love you to, you know, be a part of this if you've got time. And he said, absolutely. You know, I told him what was going on and what we would need. And he was excited to be a part of it. So once again, he couldn't be here tonight, but I appreciate Noah participating and being part of this as well. So, and then Dusty kind of went one step further. I think it's like we had formed a group and we were kind of talking about this. And I can't remember who it was, but somebody had said something about like, what if we had like box art for it? What if we packaged this up and made it like it was an actual figure? So Dusty had thrown this together as kind of a card back. So like the one side and then the back side. And then also he had put this banner across it that would be like the card on the bottom, like where you have like where it would say like Mythic Legions or whatever, and we would have this across it. So this is Dusty's original design on the outside, and then Jesse's logo for the group on the inside. So that's kind of where we're at now. And once again, this is just a picture of Eric himself. So after the show tonight, I will be creating an album in the Legionarium Hall of Heroes with all of these pictures that we've been showing. And then we will continue to work on this project. I know, specifically I mentioned like we need the Kaipacha legs. Well, those are just now starting to ship. So we're kind of waiting on some of those parts. Darla's still working on the cape. We got to get the heads printed and get them off to Noah to get them to paint. So this is not done by any means. We're still in the midst of this. But we wanted to give you guys an idea of kind of what this group is going to be about, what this individual first project is that we're working on, and then, go from there. So guys, I know I just did a whole lot of talking. I'm going to turn it over to Jesse next. Jesse, thoughts on the project? Anything else that you would want to kind of add to that?
I don't know what I can add to it. I mean, everybody involved, like it's something, that, bear with me a second. I'm putting my thoughts together. I think this group is a great way. In a way, it reminds me of like, what is it? The stars on the wall in the CIA headquarters, or someone. I don't know if I'm getting that right. Where it's
you're right.
And it's kind of our version of that. And since this whole thing is a fan community, the fan community should be the ones doing it. It shouldn't be up to the studio to carry all that. I mean, they've got enough going. Not that they don't care, but like it.
They do.
The more, Josh Brown just said this: alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. From Helen Keller, this community really epitomizes that, and that's I think this is a great way to show that, and to pay homage and memoriam. Like the Oscars every year they do the in memoriam, and they they do that. So it's a way that to not forget people. And even if we don't all know them personally or don't have connections, that they were still one of us. They still love the same things we did, and if we would have been around them, we would have been able to geek out about the cosmic wave or the next mythic wave or the reinforcements, and the different things, and all the new dwarf parts or whatever those things were at CarverCon that aren't anything. Just the levels of excitement that because we're all just big kids and nerds that love this stuff, and just spending time together. And some people just had to leave the convention early, and didn't get to see everybody.
Yeah. And to your point, like if they didn't care, they wouldn't have reached out to try to make something happen, right? Like that would have just been an email that just kind of fell upon deaf ears, right? And instead they were like, hey, we may not be able to do this. We may not be able to go into production for a one-off figure, but we know we've got an amazing group in this community that would love to help out and do this. And, they are donating, the parts that we need to make the figure. They promoted the group on Forest Horseman O'Clock. I know that, several of the members of the studio have already joined the group, including Cornboy, including Jeremy, and they've made comments on some of the pictures and posts and stuff. So they're definitely super supportive of this whole thing. So
Jesse, do you see in the chat?
Yes, I'm going to bring that up real quick.
Okay.
I think this is what you're referencing.
Yes.
African connection. I'm overwhelmed. Marilyn's my neighbor, and I'm the one who took the photo of her and her late son Eric. thank you so much for working on this project.
That was actually a question I was going to have, is how far does everyone know that we're doing this project for them? So that's good to know that it's now being spread, and family members or neighbors are able to see this and be able to say, hey, we've got this. We'll take care of this.
Yeah, I know she's definitely been excited, and she's been, telling all of her friends and family and stuff. And, we kind of, when we started the group, we didn't initially like talk about this because we wanted to get a little bit further along in the project that we were working on. And it just felt like this was a good time to get, this group together and kind of explain, we've had a bunch of people joining in the Facebook group. We've created these albums. We're starting to remember these people. But this is what the idea is that we're going to have these kind of community type projects where people are leaning on the strengths of others and chipping in a little bit here, a little bit there. I work on a weapon, you work on a head, I work on a drawing, you work on, the box art. And next thing you know, we've got something like this put together. So, and sometimes it might be, like for Marilyn, she just wants this, to have it, to remember him and stuff. It may be something where, we have somebody where we don't know anybody from the family, but there's a close friend that was in the community that this would be meaningful for. It could be something where maybe the family doesn't need a tribute, but we could raffle it off and the money can go towards, helping out with some expenses or something. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't have my crystal ball doesn't work so well, folks.
So,
but I do think this is an important thing. And I do think that the community can make this into something special. This is just our first go, and I'm doing the best that I can. This group is doing the best that they can, but I can't wait to see what you guys do with all these folks that we have in this community, what they do with these albums. But yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
And from an administrative standpoint, I mean, we've had some conversations behind the scenes, trying to figure out how do we govern this group? How do we manage it? What do we do now? In a lot of other groups, there's conversations where people are, buying, selling, and trading and things like that. This group isn't necessarily going to be, like a lot of other groups. This is more of a, talking about those that we've lost along the way. Now, there occasionally will probably be call to arms when we say, hey, we're working on a project. We'd like someone to help. We're looking for a few items, but that you're going to see that kind of come from more an admin standpoint as we're working on stuff. So stay tuned for, the need when the call to Gondor for aid, when we light them beacons, we're going to need you to help us out along the way.
Jesse.
And in regards to that, because the nature of this community is so giving and caring and generous, I can just already see, someone's going to put a message out, hey, we need the Kaipacha legs, and 13 people are going to message, but we only need, one set. It's not, don't be offended. Like, it's none of this is coming from like an offended or to offend anyone. Like, oh, we're going to take this person's parts, or, it's just going to be the nature of the thing. Like, the wanting to help is enough. And, being able to share the memories and everything. So like, if, we'll try to share the love around of who gets to help and contribute, and, not to take ownership of the memory of the person, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
Got a thing from MJ said, is there a link to buy the book that she's created? So she's still in the process. She had, I think it was like 5 short stories that Eric had worked on. And now she's working on converting that into a novel. So it's very early on, but if she gets that, or when she gets that finished and she lets us know, and we would definitely communicate that here and let you guys know, but it's still really early in the process for that. And then William says, and Jesse, you're gonna have to help me out with this name.
Zaitachi.
Says this character is intriguing in its own right. So one thing that we will do with at least this one, and we'll see what happens with other ones, is we will put out a list of, here's all the parts that we used. Once the heads are sculpted, I don't see a reason. I mean, I'd have to talk to Dirk, but I don't see a reason why these couldn't be available for sale. So if somebody, was like, hey, I really like that. I think this is a cool idea. I think this is a cool character. I would like to make one of myself. We will have that information out there so that if you want to make one of your own, you definitely can do that as well.
I mean, a perfect example. Good things come to those who wait. The opportunity to be able to create your own version of these characters over time. We should be able to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can always paint a staff for you. Anybody who wants one.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh, that's a good idea. I mean, we could definitely get this to, Trevor's probably too busy, but we could probably get it to like Nate Strong or something and get some awesome photography of this or whatever. So, and anybody that didn't get selected for this project, like don't feel bad or anything. I just kind of was like, I needed this thing. I know this person. I need this thing. I know this. But if you want to volunteer for the next one, or you want to start one yourself, you want to be the project manager for it, go ahead. Like let's
the unfortunate truth of what we have for the list right now is the lowest that it'll ever be. It will continue to grow. We will continue to lose more people along the way, as sad as that is to say, but we have to understand that there will be opportunities for everyone at any given point to be able to help with this.
Yeah, and within the group itself, like the folks that you see on screen, as well as Dirk and Noah, have been made admins in that Facebook group. But there's no hierarchy here. Like there's not one of us that's like gatekeeping this, and you can work on a project and you can or whatever. If there's a project you want to work on, have at it. If somebody feels really strongly about this thing and they would like to be an admin in the group, or they would like to help kind of add to some of the albums or whatever. Like this is very much a community driven thing. There's not one person in charge. There's not a group of people in charge. This is just, hey, how can we remember these folks in a really cool way?
I mean, I do have a preference to working on a dwarf project.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Or is it a little preference?
Yeah, just a small one. Yeah.
And let's be honest. The people that contributed to this, we're not going to be able to contribute to all. Yeah. So if this thing is going to grow, it's got to be a grassroots thing where people have to step up,
Or even to that, Dusty, there might be multiple ones happening at the same time.
Exactly.
I know. Very cool. Thank you, Carlo. I saw Jesse pulled up this comment from Trevor. Says, I'm not too busy to help. I love to paint something too. Thank you for the not too busy to help. As far as the painting, stay in your fucking lane, Trevor. Ken Pop says, if we eventually get to read the short stories, it'd be cool if people wanted to do some photography of the scenes from the book she's making with her blessing, of course. That would be awesome. Yeah, like if there's something where people could do some photography or do some some drawings or whatever that could be used in the book, that would be cool too. But we don't know what this is going to look like for this person. We don't know what it's going to look like for the future of the group or the albums or the tributes. But we are looking for folks to, if you have a desire to get involved in some of this, if one of those folks touched you or touched somebody that or you just want to be a part of this, by all means, jump in and let's make something happen. So, Josh says, put me down to help with Ed. I can talk to his family and see if they have ideas. I love this. Absolutely. There you go. Pickle D says, if you need a display piece for each figure, I'm in. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Like this is just an amazing community. I'm glad that Jeremy reached out to me. I'm glad that I was able to bring these lovely folks on board and share this with everybody out there that's watching. Anybody that watches on replay, please also share this with folks. Share it on Facebook. Have people watch this episode. I never say that. I never tell anybody to I mean, it's Jesse's channel. I don't give a heck if it succeeds or not. Let's see if I got a reaction from him. But I never say share this, watch this, tell other people about it. But this is an episode that I truly hope that everybody in the community, there's 8,000 members of the Cabal. I want 8,000 views on this video. I want people to understand what's going on. I want them to know how they can participate. So please tell everybody that you know about this episode, have them watch it. And if they have ideas or if they want to contribute to a custom or contribute to the albums, that they know how to do that. So,
Curse, do you have a picture of what Brian was shared, or did you already pull that up already? I can't remember.
I don't have that on here, but I do believe that I've got it from
that's fine.
Brian.
So
Must say, if
Brian,
you-
I want to thank you for posting that, because unfortunately, for as quickly as life moves on, sometimes you forget about some things. And when you had posted even pictures of like Brad Jimenez, I remembered back to meeting with him at a previous Legions Con and conversing with him, and again, the emotions, caught up to me on that one. And same thing with Dennis, but Dennis and Jonathan, the Hughes brothers, for a long time, it was like the Hughes and the House Heels for like, the brothers, just be known for. And I remember where I was when I found out that Dennis had gone. I was sitting at a football game for my kid. She was in the marching band, and I remember getting kind of, caught up in the emotion of it and just thinking about that, and then realizing that, there was another brother that was able to step in, and then two of them were able to come to Legions Con. So it's just, when you just see this image, a lot of these guys you remember. I mean, I know Ralph was a huge member of the fan of the Euro Legions. John and Malcolm and
Rich.
It's mental block to not say his name.
You're good.
And Rich, we're very close with him as well. So it's just, and just to see all this is something that really was important. And I think really was probably a nice memorial to be able to go up and see that at the show. That's one thing I do regret not being able to go to the show, was not being able to see this in person.
I'll have this at Legion's Con for sure. And like
That's
I said,
awesome.
I have some ideas I'm going to share with you guys later on about some other ideas.
Very
Okay.
cool. I see a bunch of folks out in the chat. TJ says if anybody needs an extra printer for prints, his set's idle. Brad said, I may not have a huge following for my customs, but Ralph always had kind words for me. Omar says, if there's any interest in writing a small comic on tribute to these characters, let me know. Myself and Edge Comics would love to help. And then Tanya said she'd also love to help with the Ed one. He was an amazing guy. So this is all great response. I think once again, I don't know what this is going to look like, but I think, kind of to tag on what, was already said here, like the best thing, if you wanted to get involved on one of these, is for somebody to take over kind of as a project manager for these and have a call to arms. Like, if you wanted to do one for Ed, that you go into that group and you make a post and you say, hey, planning on building one for Ed, and here's what kind of I had in mind. Interested to hear ideas. If there's people that want to participate, if you've got certain skill sets that you think would be beneficial, let me know, and let's kind of get together. And then you guys can just create a little separate messenger group like we did for this one, and bounce ideas off of each other and kind of figure it out and go from there. And if you need any help from any of the folks that are on screen here, we definitely would be willing to kind of guide you, or say, hey, here's how we thought through this, here's what we kind of worked on. But I think that would be the step. Like, it's great, everybody saying I would love to do this, I'd love to do that, but somebody's got to take charge of it. So
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be today, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, but if you feel strongly about doing one of those for any of these folks on screen or any of the other folks that we've lost, it kind of really is going to take somebody to take the reins and go out there and start gathering that group and bringing them together. So Dusty.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think this core group, to use a metaphor, has packed the snowball, and we have set it on the ground at the top of the hill and given it a little push.
Yep.
So as that goes downhill, I want to see this get bigger and bigger and bigger, and seeing these comments in the chat, it already feels like the snowball is starting to pick up speed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's what we want.
Yeah. Once again, this is not going to be something that you're going to have the same, 7-8 people putting out, 5-6 customs of, tribute. Like we definitely want this to be a community driven thing. And, each project's probably going to look different. The makeup of the groups are going to look different. You may have some that are more have like this one had a drawing. Maybe the other ones don't have a drawing. maybe some have like really advanced toy photography, and some, they're going to be different projects. They're led by different people that are contributed by different people, and that's totally fine. So, what do you got there from Trevor, Jesse?
Yeah,
Says Scott Ball's post always touched and inspired me with his spirit and fight. Maybe a dragon rider, so he can get his dragon after all.
That is pretty cool.
That's what we're talking about.
It was kind of cool seeing, like, Scott's wife made a post. She found out about our group and the album that we had, and she made a post about it. And it was like, I saw that and I kind of teared up. It was really cool to see that it touched her as well. That we're carrying his memory on in this group, throughout this group as well in our community.
Before Scott lost his voice, one of the last things he was recording was Cabal Above All. You know, that was one of those things where you couldn't help but listen a few times over just to kind of, really let that sink in.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is kind of all the stuff that I had as far as pictures and stuff to cover. Once again, I will be creating an album for Eric after this, and put all the pictures that you've seen today in there. We're going to continue to work on the project as we get updates. We will update you here on Shooting the Shelf. We'll, talk to other shows and have them, help kind of spread the word as well. And then we're interested to see what happens within that Facebook group and what happens with these other folks as far as, any tributes or whatever goes on with it. But, if you're not a painter, you're not a, photographer or sculptor, whatever, once again, you can still go in there and share photos, share stories. There's lots of ways to remember folks. There's not one right way. So whatever that looks like for you, go for it. So, Jesse?
And make sure that if this is, especially if it's someone we know or someone who don't respect family wishes, or those that were left behind that were directly in that person's life, try to keep, not that we can't have fun in that group, but because of what it is, and some people, we're gonna want to, like, when we go, we're gonna be like, yeah, have jokes, tell jokes, have fun, remember us, remember the stupid stuff we did, remember the good stuff we did, but make sure your levels of respect, because not everybody knows everybody the same way.
Yep.
Not trying to like police everybody or be like, that, but like, it can be a very touchy subject. When my dad passed away at Legion's Con, I was ready to make jokes, and Curtis was like, no, like, you might be okay with it, but other people might not be okay with you being okay with it. So, there's just everybody grieves and remembers differently. So just, your way of grieving might not be the same as the person who was really close to that person's way of grieving, and that sort of thing. So,
well, and I did want to address one thing. Like, we specifically did not do this in the Cabal because we didn't want this to get lost in with everything else that goes on, like there's new reveals and the customs, and this person's selling their collection and this person's looking for that part. Like, we didn't want this to get lost and all that. So we wanted this to be its own separate thing. It definitely much is an extension of the community, an extension of the Cabal. When you think of like Cabal cares and stuff, this is in the same vein as that, but we didn't want it to get lost in the shuffle of all that. So along those lines, like, we're not trying to be hard asses, but that group is not going to be for people to try to sell their parts, right? That group is not going to be for people to show off their customs and stuff, unless it has a direct relationship to, one of the people that we lost or whatever. Like, that's not what that group is for. So once again, we're not trying to be jerks, but we want to make sure that the focus of that group is really on the memory of those folks.
Well, and to add on that too, Curtis, this may not be the group for everyone right now, but 6 months from now, 9 months from now, a year from now, someone may suddenly have a loss or suddenly go, okay, I get where this is, and I need to be a part of this at that point. So we're not saying, we're not looking to drive up membership. If you feel like you need to be in this thing for right now, that's great. And if not right now, then, maybe down the line.
Yeah. It's definitely not a group for like, infighting and, like if somebody chooses to remember somebody by posting a picture of them with using AI and stuff, as long as it's respectful and stuff, it's not the place to argue AI. It's not to, maybe you post a picture and that person was holding a figure from a different toy line that you don't necessarily like. It's not time to hear, your thoughts on other toy lines and other toy creators and stuff. Like, this is about the people that we're remembering. So just keep that in mind and keep it at the forefront. So Dusty.
And to circle back and try to get out of the morbidness of the whole thing, I am super excited for us to get this project complete and get this to his mom.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about for this project, is getting this figure made and getting it in her hands.
Yeah. I mean, already she has seen, the stuff that you guys have seen tonight, she has seen. So she's seen Dusty's drawing. She's seen the digital renders of the head sculpt. She did not see the actual head sculpt because I literally just got back from CarverCon with them in my hand. So you guys got to see those first, but hopefully she is able to see. I sent her the link to this YouTube video, the live. So hopefully she's able to see that on there. But yeah, and everything that she has seen so far, she has been just truly, truly grateful for. One of the first questions that she asked was like, what's this going to cost me? Like she was fully prepared to like set up payment arrangements and all this. And I'm like, this is costing you nothing. Like, don't like every one of us that's contributing to this is doing it because we think it's the right thing to do and not because we're trying to make a buck. Right. So it may take a little bit of time because we're waiting on some parts and this person's working on that and that person's working. It's not one person putting together a custom to where you can control the whole timeline. You've got a bunch of different people. So it takes a little bit to do that when you're doing kind of a community thing. But yeah, no charge to it. And I would, once again, these different projects are going to be ran by different project managers and stuff, but I would encourage you to kind of, if you're going to participate, try to do it because of the right reasons. So,
yeah, I can't say this, but I hope I never hear about someone trying to take advantage of family or friends of those that we lose and like get money from them.
Yeah.
If any money gets made from this stuff, it needs to go to help support them, cover with funeral costs, that sort of stuff. But like, don't use this as a scam. This is meant to honor our friends or people that we would have been friends if we didn't get to know them. And it's meant to be a good thing, which unfortunately, I'm sorry, Dusty, you're trying to take us out of the morbid stuff and I'm going right back into it. But, people are going to be people and try to take advantage of stuff. But like, if you're out there and you have someone and you're wanting to remember them, you shouldn't be paying for anything from this group. In my opinion, that's my opinion. I mean, I don't remember what all the rules say and everything, but like, it's one thing if you commission something from someone, an artist, and say, hey, will you do this for me? I will pay you. That's a different thing. But if it's like coming from a group community project of help, that should be a no-brainer in my opinion.
Moving away from the morbid side, Kirby has a comment in here. It says, "We guys be able to post a link to the group." We've done that already, right? I guess we can just do that a little bit more. Or I
thought we did, but I didn't myself, but I thought I saw it in there. But we can definitely do that. I know there was a bunch of invites sent out, but yeah, we can definitely post something in the Cabal. Before I ever started the new group, I talked to Cullen because he does a lot of the Cabal Care stuff. I talked to Brian as well because I know he's heavily involved with Cabal Cares, and I talked to Walter. So they knew this wasn't like I saw the meme out there with the guy with his girlfriend where he's like looking back at the other girl and like the girlfriend was the Mythic Legions Cabal and he was looking back at the Legionarium Hall of Heroes. This is not a replacement for the Cabal. This is not a leave that group and join this group. That's like, this was 100% done with the knowledge and the approval of Walter and Cullen and Brian. And, it's definitely an extension. It's only separated so that it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. But yeah, we can absolutely post that in there so that people know where to go to. So
and I'll add it to my link page on my Instagram, so at least there'll be an anchor there for it.
Yeah.
Curtis, do you have her email response when she saw the drawing for the first time? Because
I will be honest with you, Dusty. Like I've had probably like 87 emails back and forth with her. So
well, I
yes,
remember
I
you sent
probably
me.
do, but I do know that she was very appreciative of everything that we have talked about and shown her and kind of letting her know the progress. She has been super appreciative through the whole thing, and just that it's a blessing that he, was part of that. He enjoyed this toy line, and that this community is kind of rallying behind this thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that made when you sent me her response to the initial stuff that we sent her. I mean, that made it all worth it.
mm-hmm.
I'd do it 100 more times for those kind of reactions.
For sure. JD popped in here, said this whole idea is wonderful. You're all amazing. The community is amazing, and yeah,
And it's unique.
can't say that enough. So once again, we'll keep working on that project. We'll give you guys updates. Once again, like I said, I don't ever ask for shares and talk this up like this. I really want this episode specifically, episode 204, shooting the shelf, word of mouth, get this around for people that don't normally check out YouTube. They're not YouTubers. I think this is important for everybody in our community to kind of know about. So please share this with everyone. So
the easiest thing everyone in the chat can do right now is like that, smash that like button. At least start with that, and then let's go from there.
Absolutely. Brian, I know, like I said, you already had kind of this thing and the thing made up, and you were kind of already working on something that I didn't know behind the scenes before I started talking to you about this. How do you feel like this is all like what you did and what we're doing here, all this stuff, how is it coming together, and where do you see this going?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a wider audience, and like getting to see it more this way. Instead of just having a board at a con or like something like that, it's going to be a wider range of people getting ready to enter, like being able to contribute to it. Like you guys said, either if they're working on something or sharing their stories. Like a board at a con doesn't get to share those stories. Like people can't open that up and like find out more about Eddie or Justin. I didn't know Justin. He passed when I started getting into this. I've always heard of Justin, so it's great to see these stories and find out stuff through Anthony about him. So I mean, this is some of those things that you won't get from those kinds of things, like to represent people at the con. So it's having this this group being able to like see things from these people that touched everybody is a good way to learn more.
And Brian, to that standpoint, I've learned a lot about Ray through Patrick, because Patrick and Ray were close too. So it's to hear the stories of everyone coming through and knowing how important these guys were at one point, and how we want to carry on their legacy for them. Because I imagine they'd still be in love with the line. They were here with us today. Like mentioned about Scott, with the dragon. Like I'm sure that would have been amazing, and would have been great to see the post he would have written up about those things. And again, thinking about Justin with the Exiles 2-pack that came out, I'm probably a good chance his name could have been associated with the bio on the back of that. So this is our opportunity to just keep their thoughts, their presence, their memories, everything alive with everyone, and for the next generation of Mythic Legion fans.
Jesse, we got a couple starred comments out there. You want to hit those?
Sorry, yeah, I was getting that link set up on my page.
Oh, you're good.
William Houston saying, imagine enjoying Mythic Legions when you're legally blind.
I think that's cool. Like,
and obviously on a fixed income,
the different perspective of I mean, some people are into Mythic Legions for the stories. Some people are in it for the pop and swap. Some people are in it for painting, and like just the thought process of like how he appreciated it differently than maybe how like some of us appreciate it. So it's kind of cool.
And again, not trying to suck up to Eric and the Horsemen, but like that just goes to show like how good the figures are in the sculpt and the detailing they put into them. I don't know what definitive definition of legally blind means. Like, I don't know if there was any sight or if it was just severely limited. Like, I don't understand the complexities of that, but just to know, even if it was completely, and it was just from the sense of it, that's incredible. I hadn't even thought of it that way before. So that's a good thing, William. And then again, Afric Connection, Marilyn's my neighbor, is excited about the project, about her son Eric, and she talks about it every day. She is excited.
Very cool.
And thank you so much for being here and watching this and giving us feedback. It's none of this is to glorify any of us working on these projects. It's just we're the ones that got connected to it first in the ways that we did. And like we've been saying, we want this to be a community thing for, as Anthony said, the more people that get added as the years go by, to just keep the memories going for folks.
And I want to pull this up from Twizzler to kind of wrap it back around to what we started with at the beginning of the show. Like, a lot of us just got done with CarverCon, and he says, I agree completely. I just drove 12 and a half hours to be part of the community at CarverCon and would do it again. This is a good thing. Yeah, absolutely. It was a great show, great weekend.
The fact that he drove to Ohio.
I know. I mean, you've now got vacation spots in New Jersey and Ohio. Like, who would have thought, right?
New Jersey, that's
Michigan.
Not the shore. That New Jersey, it's not the beach. Hold on.
Right, that's true.
Yeah. Inland New Jersey and Ohio. That's where people are spending their PTO to get to be a part of the community. That is something else. That's next level.
And with Eric, I know he was living in like a group home. He didn't get out to like conventions and stuff. He wasn't part of the cabal, so he's not going to be, one of these names that comes up on this album, and people are going to be like, "Oh yeah, I remember him from this, that, and the other." You're probably not. But now we get to tell that story, right? And we get to put that together, and we get to let people know about him, and that he did love this line, and that the stuff that's going on here. And so this helps us kind of spread the word. And that's why we said, like, even if somebody is missed by one person, like, that is worthy of being in the hall, because now other people are going to be able to learn about them, and it's just cool stuff, man. So
even as we're sitting here talking, the flow of creativity and ideas going through my mind. Like, I'm thinking of something that I want to talk to Brian about off, after the show, about something to acknowledge those that we're not even going to know along the way that we've lost. That tomb of the unknown collector, kind of thought, where there's a lot of people that were never part of the line that were part of the community, or we'll never know about, someone's mom reaching out to the studio for that. We want to acknowledge all those that we're going to lose along the way. So, okay, maybe I did kind of say what my thought was, but that it would be something that we could think about, like that list grows every day, probably, for every new person that picks up a figure. There's someone that had collected at one point that we don't even know is gone.
And on that note, like, when you're at one of these conventions, I had it this weekend at CarverCon, and I've definitely seen it at LegionsCon, where you'll see that like one person that's kind of like moseying around, and maybe they haven't struck up a bunch of friendships with people, and they don't know where to go, and they don't know what group to kind of latch on to, and that you see them kind of lost over here. Go grab that person and bring them into a conversation and ask them what their favorite character is, and just like pull those people in. And there's no reason for anybody to have go to these events and feel anxiety or feel out of the loop, or I'm not one of the cool
wallflowers are not allowed.
Right. Yeah. Go and grab them and bring them in and pull them into the conversation and stuff. So
grab with consent.
Yes, Jesse.
There was a guy Thursday night, or Thursday. No, it was a Friday night. I don't know. One of the beginning nights of CarverCon. This group of us that we all know each other sitting at the table, and there's a guy with a backpack walking around. There's other people still going around the hotel, but this guy's like walking around, looking around. And he just, we were like, do you think he's part of us? He has a Star Wars shirt on, so he's clearly a nerd. So it's like we watched him walk around a bit, then he went over and sat down somewhere. Wolf, yeah.
Yep.
And I walked over to him and said, "Hey, are you by any chance here for CoverCon?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just got into this a month and a half ago." He drove from Maryland, and this was his first experience with like Legion stuff. He's only been into it for like 2 months. And we sat there and talked for a minute.
Love that.
I was like, "I'm sorry, I got to take off and go handle some stuff because, you know." And then I was like, "Feel free to jump in here. All these people would love to talk to you more about everything that you're talking to me about. You're in the right place." And I left and I had to take care of something. I came back and he's in the middle of a group of people talking already. And it was like awesome. He was the first person in line to get through the door at CarverCon the next day.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, and with all of us here, if you spend 10 seconds talking to that person, you'll find who they need to be involved with. It may not be you in that particular moment, but they may need to go meet with Jesse, or they may need to go talk to Pat, or they may need to go talk to Dusty. You know, you can really just figure out like, hey, I may not be your cup of tea, but let me introduce you to Curtis, you know, and then get them going right from there. And then next thing you know, you've got a new relationship, a new friendship. I love seeing first time attendees to shows. They're the best to just meet and have those long conversations with, because that's where you start making the new friend that you didn't realize, you know, you needed in your life down the way, or that they needed.
Jesse,
I don't want to steal. I heard this from Eric Miller today. I don't know. Is it okay to say
Two Waters
from no
6
no,
if you knew the truth.
from the convention, Brian? I don't want to steal your thunder or stuff from tomorrow, but is it? It's about this and CarverCon specifically, if that's all right.
Go for it, Jesse.
Eric Miller was telling me that because he was at the Horseman table most of the day, you know, helping, you know, there as part of the studio representation, and you know, a couple of the new Cosmic Wave figures were there. His the one he worked on, I'm drawing a blank on the name, the guy with all his work.
Is it the Zortex guy?
Yep.
Yeah, Zortex and the Globenstein spiel. He was there, and the robot. And you know, so he was getting to talk to people, and you know, he's been doing this more and more at shows where he's with the Horseman table and interacting from that perspective. And he said there were people that told him that they didn't know what Mythic Legions were, but they were at CarverCon, which you know, some of that goes. I mean, all of that goes to O'Brien and whoever was working with you on promoting. I know you were on the news last week or this week. And you know, you said you were posting in like Ohio groups and all this stuff. So like the word got out to people with as focused as this show was on Legion centric stuff and Horseman centric stuff, for people to not know what those things were and still come into the show. It's just cool. Really cool. And now, you know, hopefully they've made some connections, you know, and got to talk to more people. I hope I met them. I don't know if I did at that point. But that's one of my favorite things when I do shows with Wolf King, you know, where we're at like the bigger toy shows like ZoloCon or Maryland, where people are like, "Oh, I've never heard of these before. What is this?" And just like, "Oh, let me tell you the good news. These guys over here make these things." And, you know, and now, you know, it's just adding more family to the reunion.
Yeah. And just to kind of tag on to what Anthony said, like, I live in Missouri. I've got nobody really around me that collects any of this stuff, right? And so when you go to these conventions, it's really easy to go, man, I can't wait to talk to Jesse, and I can't wait to talk to Tanya. I can't wait to talk. Like you've got these close friends that you built that you want to go have these conversations with. But if you're not meeting somebody new, if you're not strengthening a relationship that maybe, you know, you've just kind of, you have an acquaintance with somebody, you've never really had an in-depth conversation. If you're not doing those things, that's what I would encourage folks to do. Meet somebody new, strengthen a relationship. Don't just fall in the trap of, I'm going to go to dinner with my best friends and I'm going to hang out at the fire pit with this person that I talk to every single convention. That stuff is cool too, but reach out and find some new folks and expand your group. So Jesse,
I just want to say, no thanks to you, Curtis. Everybody's now convinced they cannot talk to me during setup and teardown.
Oopsie.
And in small part to Brian.
Yeah.
Small part to me.
Well, I do it
my
anyway,
fault
Jesse.
because I got hit by something. My bad.
Jesse, I
For
can't even
walking in
talk
that
to you
direction.
during setup anyway.
Everybody would come up to me and they're like, I heard I'm not supposed to talk to you during setup. And part of me wants to be a smartass and be like, then why are you talking to me?
We'll get caution
I'm
tape
still-
to wrap around his booth for Legion's Con.
I'm so wanting to break the stigma. I'm like, no, you can talk to like, and I was fine this week. I was fine during setup.
Jesse, you did good this weekend, brother.
I actually
was by
handed
myself.
Jesse something during setup, and he didn't yell at me. So, yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's so. All that to say, you said like, oh, everybody's, it's easy to go be excited to go talk to Jesse or Tyler. I'm like, you've convinced everybody not to come talk to me. So
Joe said he dared to talk to you. So
Joe's been right next to me at enough shows, and Joe helped me carry all my stuff in. So yeah,
I believe we've got another starred comment out there, Jesse.
Yes, again from African Connection. Marilyn's neighbor, he said he just went to Marilyn's apartment. She has trouble getting her her comment to post. She's very grateful to all of you, and she is in tears, so touched with what you are doing. Very cool. So, thank you. And Marilyn, even if we can't see your post, we now know you're here and you're watching, and much love to you and your family, and for I guess being the
inaugural
the catalyst for this to get rolling in the way it does. I mean, I know it's the the ultimate cost there, but
and rest
memories
assured
are going to be shared now, and people are going to know.
Yep.
And rest assured, this is going to get done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Just to tag onto Jesse's thing, Freak says, I specifically said I can see why you don't like people messing with you because that display looks great. And then G says he didn't yell at me as well. He was actually nice. Look at you, Jesse.
I mean, G
Ohio brings out a whole new personality in Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew he just needed to go west? If he goes east, it's not good. But if he goes west, it's all
There's
good.
more assholes east.
If you go far enough west, you're eventually going east again, right?
Sure, Jesse. Awesome. Well, any other thoughts, guys? I know we still got about 13 minutes left. But any other thoughts on the group or the project or anything else you guys want to share? Stories of other people?
Dusty?
I just want to say that something that gets overlooked here is Curtis has reached out to how many people about this project? 8?
Like 8 people, yeah.
8? How many no's did you get?
None.
How many? I don't have time.
None.
Hey, I'd like to help.
Yeah, 0.
0.
0.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, if I can fit it in or, what does this pay? there was none
exactly.
It was just like, yeah, let me know how I can help, So I truly do appreciate all of you guys here. First off, I appreciate the Four Horsemen Studio and Jeremy for not just letting this be an unanswered email, because I'm sure there's a lot of bigger companies that this might have just got lost in the shuffle. So for them to say, hey, this may not be something we can do, but we know how it can get done, and to funnel that back to the community. So
and we trust you.
Yeah, and then for all of you guys for donating your time, and for people to be open-minded enough to kind of hear what we're doing and listen to this. And I'm excited. I love that analogy that you said, Dusty, about the snowball. And I'm excited to see what happens with this and how big that snowball gets as it goes down the hill. So
exactly.
So excited. Curtis is just going to start picking people off at Legion's Con so we can add. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Was that too dark? Was that too dark?
That was a little
Jesse.
But it's like so dark. It's funny, right?
Jesse.
No.
Am I? Is my social awareness filter completely?
I've been fighting
right
back
now?
tears this whole episode, Jesse. Come on now.
Jesus.
But anyway, thank you everybody for listening. Any I'll just go around the horn. Brian, anything else you'd want to add for this?
No, I mean, we pretty much covered everything. This community's, we all take care of each other, and this is another way we're going to show it. And I just can't wait to see how far it goes from here.
Awesome. Patrick?
We never knew Eric, but he was one of us.
Absolutely.
It's an honor to honor him in any way that we can.
Fantastic. Anthony?
These projects are a good way for those going through this as a way to grieve and deal with it. And I can envision this happening for others down the way. We'll all be able to help out and get through this together.
For sure. Dusty?
It was a call to arms, and everybody stepped forward. And I got a feeling a lot more people are going to also.
I can't tell you how much I love this, Dusty. And like you whipped this out in a short period of time, and it is just absolutely fantastic. And I can't wait to see the actual figure come together, and you know, get some photography with it and get some box art put together. It's going to be pretty awesome. But this drawing is so good. So thank you, Dusty. I appreciate it. So,
hey, my pleasure, Curtis. Anytime.
All right. So I know we got a few minutes left. If we quickly just kind of touch a little bit on CarverCon. Brian, I know you've got a show tomorrow, but you know,
Overall,
attendance, vendors, setup, you know, food, hanging out, hotel, restaurant, like give us your thoughts. Well, how did the weekend go?
All right.
You son of a gun. You son of a gun. I don't know how Trevor's going to get 2 hours out of you tomorrow.
That's some Chalice Corbin level response right there.
Is Stacy going to be on tomorrow night?
Yes.
Sure hope so.
Okay,
Yes,
we'll be
yes.
fine.
Well, she's the number one reason to watch the lounge tomorrow night, from what I hear. I don't
Yeah.
know. But dude, it's like I said earlier, it's still very surreal, and it's very overwhelmingly. I don't know. It's amazing. I'm still trying to figure out the right way to put it. Like, it was better than I expected.
Mhm.
I think it's more than what other people expected. It definitely it turned out to be better than I could have ever dreamed it would be. Like, I don't know. It was a great experience. I had people walking up the whole time, thanking me for doing it, and it is. I just can't wait to do it again.
Well, apparently not everybody was happy. Josh Brown says disappointed because he said there was zero people at Arby's when he went there. So.
I was so bummed about that. Like, halfway through the day, they sneak Arby's in. I'm like, son of a bitch! It was my running gag, and you took it from me. What the hell? So we ended up getting Arby's at some other point. But yeah, I was expecting everybody to just kind of rush that Arby's at one point.
Dusty, CarverCon, thoughts?
Oh, overall, fantastic experience. There wasn't a frown anywhere in the building. For example, seeing Trevor. Every time I saw Trevor, he had the biggest freaking smile on his face.
That's
and looked like he was
Trevor
having
what?
the time of his life. And my favorite part was the dinner after the Saturday show. We all kind of pitched in throughout the day, made a plan, had Alexander went and picked up the pizzas where we all ordered together. We all picked our separate pizzas, threw them down on a table. Everybody piled around. People were getting up, switching seats. People would reach in over the top. Hey, hand me a piece of that.
Yeah,
we were all family.
Like 20 people around just kind of like going at this pizza and stuff. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Hey, Dusty.
That's how everyone got COVID at CarverCon from the pizza.
Yeah.
We just pretended it was tomato pie. So
there you go.
And dude, there was no hesitation about any of that. It was like we'd known each other our whole lives.
Yeah.
We had done it 1,000 times. And the conversations never stopped, and it was great.
And surprisingly, Ohio pizza wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad.
Shut your mouth.
The meatball pizza was the favorite of the night.
I don't know about that. There was a lot of people that really liked the dill pickle one, which you would listen. Dill pickle pizza
one
sounds
person
terrible.
took a bite of that and put it in the trash.
It was really good. It was really good. They said that it was the most popular pizza, and I could see why. It was really good. So
I wouldn't.
Curtis, did
order
you
it,
take a
but
kid's
I
toy?
would eat it.
did,
Yes, Curtis stole 2
is that in the
toys.
chat?
It's in the chat. You took a kid's toy?
Shh. Where is that? Okay. So here's what happened. So we're gathered around the table, we're all kind of talking and stuff, and I need to keep my hands busy. I need to keep doing something. And I had put all my toys and stuff in the room, and so I'm just sitting there getting antsy, and I'm looking around, and Trevor had this in-art Batman, and I was messing with that for a little bit, but then he took it upstairs. So I'm like, I got to have something. I got to play with something. And I look around, and there's a blocky that Mike V just put together, and it's sitting over on the side. And I said, I was asking if I could mess with it. And they said, well, Mike gave it to Blake. And I thought they meant like Blake, like Recon Rage. Blake. And I'm like, Blake's not going to care if I play with his toy, right? So I go over and take it. Well, it's Alexander's son, Blake. And so I took this kid's toy, and I'm sitting there playing with it. And apparently it's an anime character, Naruto, which I don't know who that is. But I'm like, Naruto, whatever. And they're like, well, he runs around all the time with his arms behind him. So I'm like posing it with his arms behind him. So next thing I know, Alexander's kid comes over, and he is yelling at me like, what are you doing with my figure? So yeah, oopsie.
So not only did you take Pete's Trapper Keeper, but then you didn't even honor his whole group about having a pocket Glyos at any point to just be able to play with.
No, zero Glyos. But everybody should stop by the Glyos tables at Legion's Con. So
yes.
Curtis put together 10 mega block sets and 4 blocky sets while conversing with people.
That is true. Jesse, thoughts on CarverCon?
I had a blast. I mean, the only thing, and this is not a diss to you, Patrick, because I know the circumstances were out of your hands. Patrick was going to ride with me. So like the drive out, it's one of the things that kind of sucks about some of the shows is driving on my own, because it's that going there is not as bad, but coming back, it's like, I do like my quiet time, but at the same time, it's like after just having so many, like another person in the car to like, just kind of vibe with and talk about stuff is always fun.
Road trips with Pat are the best because I typically get lost at least every time on the way home.
But
does.
Yeah, so I mean, it was great. The hotel was awesome. The venue was cool. I mean, the hotel, the hallways were confusing as hell, and I kept thinking 2 little creepy twin girls were going to show up at the end of the hall and be like, "Come play with us," and like, I was going to go crazy. So I just started going out the door where my room was, and then driving around to the front of the hotel so I could know where the hell I was going. But
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
But no, the show, it was great. I think that's a great space. I think first year, I mean, it was a great show, period. First year show, I think it was really strong, and there's just it's definitely got legs to be
Get
more.
big.
Not that it wasn't bad. I'm not saying it was bad, but like there's room to grow. There's room for like, the build up, the hype, I hope gets there. And I think it's going to be, it's going to be a mid-year Legion's Con style event. I think.
I think my favorite thing about the venue was there were so many areas to congregate, right? Like that you had this big tall table that had like 10 like bar stool type chairs around it. So that was like one area. Then you had an area over here with a couple couches that are facing each other with like a coffee table in the middle. So you had some people that gathered there. Then you had a fireplace with like a couch and some chairs wrapped around it. People were going over there. Then there was a bar that you could go and you could get some like good like appetizers and bar type food. And then there was a spot outdoors. And then there's like a little pond outside with a gazebo and chairs around. Like, so there were like 7 or 8 different places that people could congregate and hang out and have these little, conversations and just enjoy each other's company. it was, you know, the con itself was great. Buying the vendors, everybody's table setups look awesome. The traffic was a lot better than what I expected. As far as like how long it sustained, it wasn't like a 30-minute burst and then it was done. It was like several hours of just constant traffic. But the post-con hangout was really great because of that venue. Brian, you did an amazing job of picking that place out. It was spectacular for the gathering and the community aspect of it, which to me, as much as I love the vendors and I love the convention itself, that like hangout is the most important part of it. And like that venue's got it in spades. So
yeah. And we didn't use half of what was available.
No,
there was like little hidden bar areas and other setting areas on other parts of the hotel that we didn't even have enough people to expand to.
For sure.
So far.
Well, I'll get to this that comment in a moment, but Joe just said he liked this place more than Legion's Con.
I mean it's no La Quinta.
That is for sure.
Thank goodness.
It blows the La Quinta away. Go ahead, Jesse.
I was going to say
back of them in there.
Yeah. Was it Marilyn?
Yep.
Marilyn finally got a comment to post. Love to you in tears, Marin Eric. So cannot believe all this love. And then not good on the computer. Sorry, but love you all. Finally figured it out. All the love right back to you.
Absolutely.
We'll do our absolute best.
Yep. And then as far as like Carver Pond was beautiful. Anybody get their photos around the hotel. It was just an amazing venue. I will say some people did get hissed at by geese. I'm gonna own that. If you watch Mail Call with myself and Blake each Friday, we are constantly fighting geese, and I think they heard that we were coming, so they were probably on the defensive a little bit. So that's our bad.
I think Tex Luthor had them delivered in advance.
Yeah.
Well, they heard me laughing and were just drawn to it.
Yeah, I that's how I'm measuring like the success of the con. I didn't think it was really that good until I walked out and heard Jesse the little donkey there, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm calling this a good one. We did it.
Yeah, there were a couple times Jesse lost it.
Oh yeah.
So it was a success after I heard that.
Bob Evans too.
Yeah.
You should have been at the Bob Evans. Brian, just out of curiosity, did you get any feedback from the hotel about us?
Not yet. I have not yet. It's kind of funny when I first started talking to her. I was like, okay, what do you like this? But it's not like, I was like, we have our con and everybody comes together and we just like, people have coolers, we drink, we hang out, everything. Nobody gets rowdy. It's everybody's cool. Everybody's respectable, everything. I give her a heads up. She's like, oh, that's okay. We have people we have things like that. I was like, but do you?
So
not really.
Little quick story about the people at the people that worked there were great. Like they were all pleasant and nice and awesome. The gentleman, Dusty, that we saw last night that was cleaning up, he asked if we had any trash and we gave him the rest of our pizza and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So Thursday when we get there, a few of us had gone over to see like the convention center space and stuff, and Darla was kind of lagging behind and stuff. So she's outside, and I guess she was asking kind of like how to get over there, and he's directing her. He goes, well, you go around this path. He goes, unless you're Jesus Christ, and then you go walk across the water.
Was this the Jamaican guy?
And she's like, okay, well, I'll go around then.
I think that guy really enjoyed us.
Yeah.
He got to where he was cutting up with this.
Yeah.
He was awesome. The whole weekend, he was great. He kept coming around, taking care of everybody. He was so cool. Checking in with everyone.
He was great. We got one more starred comment out there, Jesse, and then I think we can wrap this up.
All right, this is from Eric's mom again. He had 5 eye surgeries this year. He saw no depth or side vision. Has all the figures. I am in so many tears. Sorry, no good on the computer. Hey, it's okay. Your message got across, and you're you're here. So thank you. And
we're
all
to
happy
get this in your hands.
Yep.
to
And
be a part of
while
it.
you're here, I don't know if you saw it earlier. I'll go ahead and big it myself. So this is the head sculpt that was done for that. This is the one with the sash and the comment on it. And then this is the second one that does not have the sash. So this one's got the open one. So and these do need to be Dirk's gonna make the size of these a little bit bigger for the actual custom that we're doing. But that, I know you saw the digital renders, but that's what they look like physically in person. So there you go.
Marilyn, would it be possible, since you're in the chat, you can see, and maybe something you could email Curtis at some point? We would love to see what Eric's collection looked like.
Oh yeah,
Love
yeah,
to
that'd
know.
be great.
You know,
That'd be good for the album.
you know, love shooting the shelf and love, you know, seeing these things. It'd be amazing to see what he had in his collection.
I think if I remember right, she said because he was in a home, and so she's now got like several of these like in boxes and still trying to get them like up in her space. So some of it may not be put back together yet. But yeah, if you got any pictures, definitely share them. Kind of go from there. So. But once again, appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate all you guys being part of this journey in the group, as well as with the tribute process. Once again, after this, I will be creating an album in the Legionarium Hall of Heroes Facebook group for Eric. We'll put all those pictures that we showed tonight, and we'll update you as things go on in there. So yeah, that's pretty much what we got. So yeah, Jesse.
If I can make up for my comment from earlier and read the little intro to the Legionarium I wrote, is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm. Let's hear it. But I'm even bigging you a little bit. There you
go. In memoriam of those Legionnaires who have departed our mortal shores, we honor them here in the Legionarium, the Hall of Heroes. The sacred shrine serves to remind all of the heroes of our community that we knew too briefly. Hail the victorious Legionnaires. Sorry, I read that wrong.
Very cool. Nice.
We'll get Mal to fix that
as Jeremy. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, we'll go around the horn real quick with what you got coming up. I know, Brian, you got the lounge tomorrow, and then I think your Latin Legions next Sunday, right?
Yes.
You got anything else coming up people should know about?
Not that I can think of. At least not for another year.
Getting some sleep and relaxing.
Yeah, I'm not doing shit for a week.
Patrick, anything that you got coming up people should know about?
No, I don't have anything coming up until Legion's Con.
Awesome. Anthony?
Well, we're playing D&D soon here, Pat, so that's important for us.
I guess that is.
That's kind of important, you know.
That is.
Besides that, I'm busy just working on my Under the Mountain throne room sets and pieces. I've thrown a couple posts out there for people to reach out to us. Getting ready to work on the Forged Tribes Glyos compatible parts and pieces for Legion's Con as well. So it's coming up very fast. When is Legion's Con this year? Are we less than?
It's 4 months now. Yeah.
4 months. Yeah. So yeah. It'll be right there real quick before you know it. So just trying to prepare and get ready for it. So when the week of, I'm not pulling my hair out and stressing out, just going to try to enjoy it as much as I did last year in particular.
Yeah. I mean, Darla needs to start making some capes. That's for sure.
One of these days, we're going to see a shoe come flying across the screen, and we're all just going to clap.
She's asleep. I'm good. Dusty, what you got going on?
I've spoken to Motu Joe. As soon as he gets some time, some new designs are going to go up on Retro.
Very cool.
Look for possibly your Heroes of Offworld to have their T-shirt available soon.
Oh, all right.
I've got a couple drawings in the works to get those done for Legion's Con. So just check out Retro Rags. Keep an eye on our Instagram at Dang Studios, and we're going to have some stuff for Legion's Con.
Including some Trapper Keepers at Legion's Con?
I'm gonna apparently have to order 100 Trapper Keepers.
We're not. Wait, what did we call them earlier? They're RPG bio collect. We're not. We have to be careful with that IP name.
Character containment unit.
There you go.
Character containment unit.
Brian, did you have something else?
I'm just wondering, are the villains gonna get a shirt? Because I just learned that I'm a villain tonight.
You are.
You
a villain of
I'm-
Off- so
You're a traitor.
the
I'm like-
main
I'm-
villain of Offworld is Terrence, which is also known as Text Luthor.
Rigged.
because he types so much. And he needed to put together a crew. And I said, you could definitely add Brian because of that whole Legions chat BS that he does on Friday nights, trying to pull people away from Offworld. So yeah, he made
All
you
six
into a
of them.
Gorilla Grodd. So yeah, so we'll see.
That was comical. Scrolling and just like, wait a minute, what the hell? I didn't even see the caption. I was like, why does that look like me?
Because it is.
And it's
I think the
it's so-
Solomon Grundy Schmerber was the best.
Right. That
Yeah.
one's my favorite.
Oh no. High ass and Twizzler's the best.
Well, that's true.
Oh yeah.
So real quick, before we end this, we've got to tell the high ass Twizzler story.
Oh, you're gonna end it on a good note.
So we're sitting there around the big table and we're having a conversation, and G is telling us how much he loves Twizzler, right? Not Twizzler's the candy, but Twizzler the person. And specifically, he loves him because he's the only person in the room that he's taller than. And I called bullshit because there's no way that he's taller than Twizzler. So we had these guys back up against each other. So we're doing the tail of the tape and we're measuring, and there's like, I don't know, 10 of us around the table watching this. 9 of us are all looking at the top of their heads. We're all looking to see where their heads line up, and it was a dead heat, man. They were like boom, neck and neck, like it was right there. Dusty is not looking at the top of their heads. Dusty is looking at their asses. and Dusty says, he's like got this confused look on his face, like he doesn't understand the physics of what's happening. He goes, their heads are even, but Twizzler has a whole ass above G's ass. Like his ass was one ass level higher than G's, but then when you get to the top of the head, it's even. so
one's all legs and one's all torso.
yes. So for the rest of the weekend, we said that Twizzler was high assing people. So there you go. So that's what's going on there. And then what was even funnier than that is that then Dusty backed up against Twizzler, and Dusty's got him by a foot. Twizzler's 5'4", Dusty's 6'4". He's got him by a whole foot, but their asses were the same height. So yeah, there you go. Twizzler, who has run, what did he say, like 50 marathons that he's run? Like
Yeah,
he's
something like
Good grief.
and Dusty's like, yeah, no wonder you're built like a freaking gazelle. You're 90% leg. So there you go. If you're high assing somebody, that's what's going on.
Yeah, so that's what you miss out if you miss out on these cons. You miss out on great things.
Oh,
like-
here we go.
like
21
high ass and
marathons. We from high ass Twizzler, which by the way, I expect you to fully change your name on YouTube to high ass Twizzler. So yeah. His gluteus maximus. Glutinous. Yeah.
Glutinous Maximus.
We kept saying glutinous maximus.
Maximus.
Yeah. Oh, fun
such
stuff.
a good time. Good time.
Yeah, CarverCon, definitely don't miss it next year, folks. It was amazing. Great job, Brian. Thank you guys for joining us for this. I know it was kind of a somber situation, but at the same time, we're celebrating these people and the connections that we've made and the stuff that we're learning about people that we didn't have connections with. But also at the same time, you bring in that other aspect, which is that we just got off of CarverCon and maybe we made some new friends, maybe we strengthened some relationships, and that all ties into this as well. So some good stories, good laughs. Appreciate all of you guys. This has been awesome. So
Yes.
any final thoughts before we put you guys backstage?
No, just glad to be a part of everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to put you guys back there. If you need to run, we totally understand. We started
Good night,
a little bit
everybody.
later than normal. If not, hang out and we'll talk to you as soon as we get closed out. So
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
All right. That, Jesse, shut up, stupid watch. That, Jesse, is a show.
Yes, it is. It is. And yeah, I mean, potentially a rough topic, but good. I think it's a good thing. It's something we can't ignore. It's going to happen to all of us eventually. And that knowing that we've got a community like this around us that are going to pick us up and carry us, and each other, and even folks we might not know personally or very well, that there's going to be, I think most people just want to be remembered for having been here. And
For sure.
I think this is, is our way of being able to contribute to that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I believe we got a show next week because we do this every week, Jesse.
We do. I don't know if we got official confirmation from the guest, but we'll save that for the official post. But next week we will probably be doing like a more in-depth recap of CarverCon. I don't know why the 5 disappeared. Episode 205. I don't know what happened.
It 20 blank.
It's 205. There was a 5 there. I don't know if I saved it too fast. I don't know. Anyway, next week we'll be talking CarverCon, and other shenanigery.
Sure. We do have a couple people in mind for next week. But if there's anybody out there that would like to come on and talk about CarverCon, whether you were there as an attendee, whether you're there as a vendor, let us know. If we've got room, we'd love to get some folks on to talk about it. Not really, Brian. Like, I need a week or two away from Brian. But anybody else who wants to come on and talk about CarverCon, let us know. We'll try to fit in as many. He's flipping me off backstage, folks. I can see it at the bottom of my screen. So, but yeah, we'd love to talk about it because it was an amazing con and Brian did a kick-ass job. I love to give Brian shit, but I can't on this one because he did amazing, and it was impressive. For a first-time convention, it was more professional than almost any other convention I've seen. So he did an amazing job. So
yes, he did.
Yeah.
And so did Stacy and all the people that were helping run the tables and all that jazz. And the people at the hotel itself, like the bathrooms were pretty clean in the convention hall. They were right there, easy to get to, lots of space. It was it's a good show. I hope can't wait to go back next year and see more of our Legions family and new family that get added between now and then.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Well, I think that's it, Jesse.
That is it. Thank you all for being here, for joining us late. I don't know, are they doing their Toy Hammer, or is
nope? We're off for the rest of July for Toy Hammer. Wraith is doing some traveling.
Okay.
Carlos is doing he's got the San Diego Comic-Con coming up, which, by the way, follow Badass Reviews on Instagram and on YouTube. They basically have him covering the whole event of San Diego Comic-Con this year. So he's going to have reveals. He's going to have like talking to people and interviews. He's going to be doing all kinds of stuff. So if you want to know, if you're not able to make it to San Diego and you want to know what's going on, Carlos has you covered. So
there you go. And Brian, strap in, because now Curtis just set expectations for CarverCon next year to be San Diego CarverCon. So
there you go. San Diego Comic-Con. There you go.
Yes. Well, thank you all for being here, Marilyn and Afro Connection. Thank you for tuning in, and anyone who's not one of our normal people. And yeah, share and like this video. Now, again, I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about the support for the channel, but just for the heart and the memory of it, to get out there so people who are in the community can know what we're doing and to share the memories. So yes, Legionarium above all. Oh, it is the best Legionarium. We'll say that.
My dog is like half asleep and just literally groaned when you said that.
That means he knows my voice.
That's it.
All right, folks. Until next time.
What's on your shelf?